Hi, this is Saving Grace Homeschool, and today we're here to talk about the dangers of smoking. So the aim of this lesson is we really want you to understand that smoking is harmful, why it's harmful and how it affects yourself and others. And the success criteria is here to discuss the disadvantages of smoking, to explain how smoking can damage parts of the body, and to explain to you also the dangers of passive smoking, where you're not smoking yourself, but where you're in contact with cigarette smoke. So just the facts about smoking, right off the bat, it is incredibly unhealthy for almost all of your organs, all of them in fact. Cigarettes contain nicotine. This is the active ingredient in a cigarette, which is incredibly addictive. It's one of the fastest ways to form an addiction that you can access in South Africa to a large degree. And this addictiveness is what makes it incredibly difficult to stop once you've started. So just a bit of background on cigarettes. They are expensive. In South Africa, we charge a fair amount of tax on cigarettes to discourage their use, but even without that, they are pretty expensive and people tend to smoke a lot. So the average smoker in South Africa, if they smoke a pack a day, depending on the exacts, will spend anywhere between 5 and 25,000 rand on cigarettes a year, which quickly adds up. A lot of young people start smoking due to peer pressure and from the perception that it looks cool. Don't do that. It's not cool. In South Africa, it's also illegal to buy cigarettes if you're under the age of 18. More importantly, it's illegal for any adults to smoke in the presence of a child in a car or any enclosed environments, or to sell or give any nicotine products to anyone under the age of 18. But just part of the reason why smoking is dangerous. Why is this? It's a stick. What does it do? So when you light a cigarette and the tobacco inside burns, the burning process itself creates a lot of chemicals, organics, carbon monoxide, a lot of benzene-like compounds, and they, in simple terms, poison your body. They cause a lot of damage to your lungs, to your mouth and your throat, and the knock-on effects of these entering into your body affect all of your other organs as well as your skin. So what is in a cigarette? So when cigarettes burn, they produce a lot, and they burn incompletely. They burn and create a lot of different chemicals that come into your body. So the biggest one is nicotine. This is what delivers the addictive properties. There's a lot of tar. In practical terms, this is kind of what happens when you take take a spoon over a candle. That sticky substance that you get there is very similar to the tar that comes from cigarette smoke. A lot of carbon monoxide from incomplete combustion that decreases the ability of your blood to deliver oxygen to the rest of your body. Formaldehyde, it is used to embalm dead bodies and a lot of other things. Very poisonous, and this is a whole body toxin. Hydrogen cyanide, also poisonous. Arsenic, the arsenic comes in with the tobacco itself. There's no way to avoid this if you're smoking. It is incredibly unhealthy and it damages your lungs and your bones a lot. Ammonia, this is part of what helps Handy Andy and other common cleaning products work. Do not put into your body. DDT, this also, it's supposed to be banned, but it still ends up in a lot of tobacco. It is incredibly bad to your liver as well, and to your general body, but your liver especially. And then polonium, it's a radioactive element that tobacco plants specifically take up a lot of from the ground and from rainwater, and then it's in the leaves when you smoke them. Smoking something is one of the worst ways to introduce radioactive elements into your body. It does an incredible amount of damage. This is more a bit about why smoking affects you. So how does smoking affect specifically the brain? So when you smoke, you immediately have a large amount of nicotine that goes into your lungs and through your lungs into your blood and then into your brain. This is very quick. It's a couple of seconds. So the nicotine has, in the short term, an immediate relaxing effect that it wears off very, very quickly. And once this feeling wears off, in order to continue enjoying this, you need more nicotine, and then you smoke another cigarette. This leads very quickly to chain smoking because you build up a resistance to the effects of nicotine. But because your body associates the nicotine coming in and cigarettes with pleasure, it is very addictive very quickly. How does smoking affect the heart and lungs? Nicotine from smoke reaches the brain and triggers something called adrenaline. So this causes your breathing to increase and your heart rate to start kicking up into high gear. It's not good for your heart to be under constant kind of pressure to beat faster and faster all the time. Smoking also, especially affecting your heart and lungs, releases carbon monoxide that comes in with the cigarette smokes and then stops your body and your red blood cells from efficiently moving oxygen around and accepting oxygen from your lungs. This will decrease your sports performance in the immediate short term, and over long term will damage your body from lower oxygen levels in your blood. Not great for you. So a bit more about that. As there's less oxygen in the blood from carbon monoxide poisoning and the CO2 in cigarette smoke, this creates additional strain on your heart, which worsens the effects of the adrenaline that's being puts a lot of pressure on your heart. It ages you a bit faster. It has the additional effect on your lungs that smoking causes these fatty deposits to start building up in your blood vessels, and these start affecting both your circulatory system and the large amount of blood vessels in your lungs. So apart from the health concerns immediately, there are other additional effects that aren't strictly limited to your heart and lungs. Cigarettes contain a lot of tar, that same sticky dark colored substance. It will very quickly stain your teeth. In extreme cases, if people smoke a lot, it will start staining your hands and as well as your gums. It doesn't look great. So the poisons here can often start affecting smokers quite quickly. So someone that hasn't been smoking for a very long time can develop a cough, and if they smoke long enough, the net effect of all of these substances entering your body, these things that are similar to cleaning compounds, is that it increases your chances of disease and cancer. So there's danger from smoking to people who may not be the person lighting the cigarette and inhaling the smoke. If some of you may have unfortunately already experienced this, if you are next to someone smoking, you can feel the effect that it has on your lungs. A lot of people that are sensitive to asthma will almost immediately start struggling to breathe, and it's a common thing in South Africa, unfortunately, but it happens a lot. It affects children, other adults in the area, and also pets. There's an increased likelihood of childhood asthma, and asthma for those under the age of 18, if you live in a house where your parents smoke and you're exposed to cigarette smoke. In addition, the secondhand smoke that you find from being in an area where there's a lot of cigarette smoke blowing around has the exact same effects on a person as if you were smoking the cigarette. There may be changes in degree, but the disadvantages in terms of type stay the same. You're still being exposed to the same chemicals, and especially for people under the age of 18 or even younger, this can be quite damaging. Another effect on the smokers specifically, and kind of by extension because it costs money their whole family, is the cost of smoking. So here we have an example using British pounds. An average packet of cigarette costs around £9.60, and if you smoke 20 cigarettes every day, the numbers for this start adding up pretty quickly. At the end of this, I'll do a similar example in South African rands. So if you smoke 20 cigarettes every day at £9.60 per pack of cigarettes, in a week that will add up to £67.20, which is really, as we've found, it's a fair amount of money. If you have the same phenomena for 4 weeks, which is just short of a month, this is a cost of £268.80, which is a fair amount. And here, kind of prep yourself for the shocker. If you smoke a pack of cigarettes every day for a full year, it will cost you £3,504 at the rate we've discussed above, which is a lot. This is a fair cost. If you repeat this calculation with the suggested prices of most cigarettes in South Africa, on a yearly cost, it comes out to somewhere in the region of 16,000 Rand a year, which is a very large financial impact on the person smoking. It decreases the amount of things they can do with their money for something that's actively damaging their health. It also negatively affects their ability to look after their family, because that's money you can't spend on education, buying good food for your family, making sure they can go to the doctor when they need to. So these have knock-on effects not only on the individual but on the person who lives with a smoker and is dependent on them to look after them. So we've repeated the calculations here, but it really is a very large amount of money. So we'd like to review this, and on your own there, when you think about what we've said now and what we've discussed, in what ways is smoking dangerous for a smoker and for those around them? In what ways is smoking damaging your health? In what ways is it negatively affecting your financial position, your ability to make enough money to look after yourself and your family? And then in more specifics, what harmful substances do cigarettes contain? We've mentioned that they contain benzene-like compounds, that they contain nicotine, that they contain tar. Write down for yourself so you can study and answer these questions later what compounds are in cigarette smoke. And then once you've looked at that, make specific notes, and especially from the lecture we've just discussed. How can smoking damage your body? And this includes damage to your brain, damage to your lungs, damage to your heart and your circulatory system, damage to your throat and mouth, damage to your teeth. So be willing to be very specific about this and adapt on it. There's a lot of things going on. We'd like you to very much understand in detail what's going on here, why you should avoid smoking, and we'd like to include also how the addictiveness can affect this if you'd like to go a bit more deeply. Thank you so much. This has been Saving Grace Homeschool. Thank you for listening to this very important lecture. All of the best for your futures and for your health.